Hello everyone, Silently here, and welcome back to another episode of Bugrock of the Week. Recently I made a video on 11 Nether update bugs that you probably didn't know about, and you guys seem to enjoy that video. So we're back with a whole bunch more Nether update bugs that you don't know about. In today's video, we got actually a really good variety. There's several bugs in this video that affect redstone contraptions and break all kinds of different fun things that you might want to build. We got some really fun and quirky bugs, we got some strange and weird ones. So no matter what you're into, we got it covered in today's video. Anyway, without further ado, let's hop into it, shall we? And you guys know how this works by now. For everything that we talk about in today's episode, there are bug report links down in the description of the video. If you want to help get things fixed, you can go down to the description, upvote the bug reports, add some additional information to them if you like, and then that'll help the developers get everything fixed in future updates. Our first little bug is a very strange and quirky one having to do with dispensers and glowstone blocks. So as you can see, we got a couple of those things in there. We're just going to stand in front of this dispenser, flick the lever, and you'll notice that it did dispense the glowstone. There's one less in there, but it's not in our inventory. That's because it is in our helmet slot. Why? I do not know. I'm very sad that it does not render, and I'm sad that it doesn't work with other blocks, and unfortunately, you can't put cursive binding on glowstone, which would make this all the more fun. But yeah, you can have glowstone be put into your head slot. I assume someone found this when they were trying to do a recharge on a, this thing, respawn anchor. Just so we're clear, this also works with other things in the game, like mobs and even armor stands. So this is a new armor stand. We got some glowstone in the dispenser. We can of course equip that to the armor stand. You don't see it shoot out and you don't see it render, but it is actually on the head slot. And the same goes for like zombies. We can dispense one onto that guy's head. And as far as I've seen, oh, there we go. He did actually drop it. So yeah, you can dispense it onto their heads. You can put it onto a skeleton and then they'll drop it sometimes. And honestly, it's just a rather fun little thing. I'm going to keep these guys around for future updates and see what happens to them. And next up, we have a little bit of a fun one that's mostly just kind of an awkward party trick that is not that helpful for really doing anything. So lava and flowing lava unrenders behind honey and slime blocks. Honey is the preferred one to use here because it's more transparent. But yeah, as you can see, we can look through the gaps in the honey or gaps in the slime and see through into that lava lake. Now, you might think this is a great way to find some ancient debris on the bottom of the lava lakes. It's not, trust me. I put like 20 pieces of ancient debris out there and I can't see a single one of them. And I know where I put them. They're somewhere out there, but yeah, I can't find any of them. And then what are you gonna do once you spot one? You gotta go try and like find it underneath the lava? Yeah, you're not gonna find any ancient debris doing this. It's a completely useless little bug, but it is kind of a fun thing that you can do, I guess. And next up, we have a really important bug when it comes to sorting systems and item transportation. This might take me a minute to explain, but it's a really important bug for your worlds and a really important bug to be aware of. So basically, water streams like this one are actually directional. They only work in certain directions and with certain different configurations, which is not how they should be. It should be a very consistent thing. This kind of water stream, for those of you who don't know, is a very convenient and fast way of moving items, but also being able to sort them. Basically, we have items in a water stream so that they go super quickly, but we're also lining them up halfway in between the ice block for the speed and the hopper so that we can collect them and sort them. So this is a super old school thing that's been around for absolutely ages, and it still works really well to this day, barring this bug. So as you can see, the west direction works very fine. We can throw items into that chest and they all get collected by the hopper. And actually you can do this with the grindstone and with the anvil. Basically, however you align them between the two blocks, it works just fine and they go into the hoppers. No issues, no big deal. It just works. It's great. That's how it should be. But if we try and do this on the north side, you'll notice that there is an immediate issue. If we throw some items into that chest, not a single one of them will go into these hoppers. As you can see from the texture pack, these hoppers are indeed unlocked. They can pick up items. However, the hitbox of the item just is not above those hoppers enough. And you can see that this also doesn't work with grindstones or with anvils. So there's just no good way to line up the items on the north side. they just won't go into the hoppers. It's a very annoying thing, and if you're not aware of this bug and you're trying to build a sorting system in your world, this could waste so much of your time, could be extremely frustrating, and might just make you rage quit because Bugrock. We have a different issue when it comes to the east side, however, so if we switch these out for a chest, you'll notice that it works just fine. All the items go into the hoppers. However, if we try and use ourselves some anvils, they don't just like slide past and don't go into the hoppers. In fact, they are too far over, so they don't get the speed of the ice, but they do go into the hoppers, so they don't get any of the speed required. They just like go super slowly, which is kind of a bigger issue. This also applies to the grindstone as well. So if we switch out these for grindstones, you'll see that they just go super slowly. Yeah, not a good thing, and that definitely breaks sorting systems as well, because then they don't go into the next section. It's the exact same story on the south side as well. The anvils do not work, and neither do the grindstones. They simply don't get the speed of the ice. However, if you switch it out for a chest, then everything works just fine, as you might expect. So this is actually a very big bug and has really big impacts for a ton of different sorting system tech. I would really appreciate it if you guys did go down to the description and upvote this one. This is actually impacting current projects that we have on the Truly Bedrock server. I've personally been frustrated by this before I even knew that it existed, and yeah, it's just a bad one. We need good storage tech, and that means that we need this bug fixed. And next up, we got a couple of weird bugs that affect a lot of different farms, and this has to do with magma blocks, soul campfires, soul fire, and normal fire, all dealing the exact same amount of damage. So these guys will take a little while to die because it's very slow. It's the speed of a magma block, and also they got a lot of health, but you'll see that they'll all die at exactly the same instant. Now, magma blocks should be the least damage out of all of these guys. Soul campfires and soul fire should deal the most damage and kill them the quickest, and if that were actually the case, if all of these things did the proper amount of damage, we can make a lot more very efficient farms in the Bedrock edition. For example, if soul campfires did the proper amount of damage, we could use them in slime farms, we could use them in hoglin farms, we could use them in a bunch of different killing chambers to really speed up the rate at which we kill mobs, getting us even better rates and even more efficient farms. And next up, we have another bug that affects a lot of different things, and this has to do with mob pathfinding. So for example, if a mob is trying to pathfind from spot A to spot B, but they fall down like a kill chamber, for example, they're still going to be trying to pathfind to spot B, even if it's impossible for them to get there, which is the reason why if a hoglin is scared of a fungus and tries to run over to this side of the platform, for example, and then it falls into lava, that's why the hoglin is going to try bouncing up and down in the lava, as you can see there. That is this bug in action. It's still trying to pathfind somewhere onto this platform, even though it's literally impossible for that to happen. You can demonstrate this with a ton of other mobs in the game, but this is like a demo that I already have built, and I've already talked about this before, but yeah, it's actually a really big issue. Our next bug has to do with Zoglins and armor stands. Armor stands are increasingly getting creepier every single update on Bedrock Edition. At this point, we've had like 1,000 bugs that prove that armor stands are alive. Creepy. Anyway, so Zoglins will actually attack armor stands. As you can see, they'll straight up get up there and they'll just try to attack them, which proves that armor stands are still mildly alive. These things can use totems of undying. They can drop gear like mobs. They took up the mob cap at one point. They are legitimately the creepiest thing in Minecraft because they're actually alive. They're like the armor stand guys, mannequins from Skyrim. They're always watching you. Our next bug has to do with piglins and piglen brutes. So if we equip these guys with a full set of armor, and then they convert into a zombified pigman, one of me, then they will not drop any of the items that we just equipped them with. This could go either way. This might not actually be a bug. However, I can see why it would be considered a bug. Zombies converting to drowns drop everything that they're carrying, and you would kind of expect the same thing to happen when a piglin or brute converts into a zombified pigman. I'm not entirely sure if it is actually a bug or not, but it's going on the bug tracker. With the sheer amount of pig bugs that we have in one episode, I'm kind of considering that I should have just made a purely pig-related Bugrock, although I'm not sure if anybody would ever watch that. Would you watch a purely pig-related Bugrock episode? let me know. And our next redstone bug that destroys a lot of contraptions has to do with gravity blocks and pistons. So as you can see, if we extend that, it's perfectly fine, but as soon as we retract it, something weird's gonna happen. The top one just straight up explodes into an item, and this happens with all different kinds of gravity blocks, and this breaks a lot of different stuff. So you can see that it's always the second block up. Even if this is like a solid block, for example, the block right there will always explode into an item whenever you retract it, which is a very strange thing. So we can demonstrate this in a bunch of different configurations over here. As you can see, these two will be fine, but none of the other ones will. It's very strange. Our next weird bug is the builders and cursed items enthusiast's dream. As you can see, we can now get cursed open chests very, very easily and build all kinds of cool looking things out of them. So this is a very easy bug to reproduce. I just saw this earlier, like the other day as I was recording a video as well. So what you need to do is place down a chest. Keep in mind that's the one that we gotta place later. Place another chest behind it to make it double chest, open the first one that you placed, and then break the first one that you placed, and then the second one that you place will remain open. Whoa! As you can see, it is extremely simple. So place, open, break. And then you can do that in all the different directions as well. So really quite very straightforward to get yourself like a nice little chair with armrests even. It's pretty legit. Now, you can also do this with a trap chest as well. However, something a little bit weird is that the trap chest, when open, it doesn't actually put out a redstone signal. So it's purely a visual thing. And then if you try and reopen it, then that's gonna close the chest. But it's still a fun thing that you can mess around with. And next up, we have a pretty fun and strange little bug that might be actually useful to you in your worlds. And this has to do with buckets of fish. Who would have thought that these things could actually be useful? Anyway, if we go ahead and place down just a random bucket of cod, we will never be able to pick up that cod in this bucket again, because as soon as we try and pick it up, it just instantly gets placed back down again, but it generates a new source of water. As you can see, we now have 2 water sources in here, and then if we try and like pick this one up and then pick up the cod, it just happens again. We still have like infinite sources. So you can fill in massive areas with a single bucket. It's basically an infinity bucket. And yeah, that's all there is to it. You can fill really cool areas with a whole lot of water using the power of fish. So you can still get buckets of fish if you swim around underwater, although it's a little bit random. Sometimes it places the fish back down, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes you need a full bucket of water to grab one of these guys. It's kind of inconsistent, but you can still get buckets of fish. Why? Anybody know? We got red dogs now. Apparently if I summon them in, they're just red. Okay, well, you know what? I'm not gonna... Actually, you know what? I am gonna question that. Hold on. Rotten flesh. Let's grow these guys up. Are they gonna stay red when they're an adult? Take your bet. Oh my god, they do. Alrighty. Red dogs. Just took off all my texture packs and... It's not my texture pack. Wow, we have red dogs. Okay. So the spawn as entity born is a wee bit broken on Bedrock Edition. I'm not really quite upset about this, but at the same time, I am very curious. Are they gonna make a red dog? Hold on. Are you make a red dog? Do red dog. I'll name him Clifford. Oh my god, they make another one. Hold on. Are all wolves? No, not all wolves are red. Okay, so white dog and white dog makes white dog, but red dog and white dog makes red dog. This is confusing, and I love it. Why do you exist? You're strange, and I love you. That is definitely not the first time that we found another new bug while recording one of these episodes, and I'm sure it will not be the last. Anyway, the actual bug that I was going to attempt to show you is that baby wolves on peaceful mode would attack you, but it appears that that bug has been fixed. I've been going around punching baby wolves and adult wolves on peaceful mode, and these guys have not been attacking me back. So I'm guessing that that one's fixed. The red wolf one is legitimately a bug, and that is actually on the bug tracker as of now. It appears that this guy is summoned, but he doesn't have an owner, but he is tamed, and that's why he's red. So if you're wondering, that's why we got red wolves. So you can only get these red dogs in creative and with commands because of this bug, but yeah, it's still a really cool thing that I did not know we had on Bedrock Edition. So of course, make sure to visit the bug report links down in the description of the video. If any of those affect you, make sure to upvote them. And if you have any additional information about any of these bugs, make sure to put that on the bug report as well. Anything and everything really does help get these bugs fixed in future updates. Anyway, that's going to do it for today's video. Thank you ever so much for watching. I hope that you have enjoyed. Of course, if you have, make sure to leave a like. It helps out the video and the channel a ton. If you're new here, then of course subscribe so you don't miss future episodes. And otherwise, I'll see you guys down in the comment section and in the next one. Thanks again for watching. And then there was silence.